I discovered that I held a lot of resentment towards God over things that were not favorable that happened to me in my life that I thought that I had like moved on from, but those wounds were fresh as the day is long, and I had not moved. I was stuck there, and it was affecting my relationship with Him. There were also many people in my life that I thought I had forgiven, but like the longer I went into the fast, the more I realized that like I hadn't forgiven these people. I had just kind of accepted the fact that weird things happened and moved on, and I was able to like genuinely like let it genuinely forgive them from my heart and like release it, kind of a thing. I learned like physically, I use food as a crutch, which a lot of us do, but same thing with social media, dude. I use social media as a crutch to feel good, like to feel better about myself, and I think that's wrong. I think it's an idol, basically, which that was exposed at one point. Like I didn't even want to be on social media anymore. It felt gross. I don't know how to explain it. Going back to the food, after like the third or fourth day, you only get hungry every once in a while. That was weird to me because I fasted for like a week before, and I remember it being like hard, and it was super, dude. The 40 days was crazy hard. I don't want to like downplay it, and I wouldn't have done it if I didn't feel like God Himself was not calling me to do it. And I think He knew I wouldn't have done it if He would have played His hand different. It was basically like, I need you to fast, and I was like, cool. And in my head, that meant 3 days, and I was like, I could do 3 days whenever. Like I could do 3 days right now. I don't want to, not gonna, but like I could bust it out. And then 3 days turned into like a week, and he was just like, just I kept feeling this nudge, just keep going. And he was just kind of slow rolling me. And then we hit 21 days, and I was like, can I stop? And then I realized what was happening, and I was like, oh no, oh no. But I did make it through the grace of God and through the strength of Jesus Christ. But like, I didn't have a ton of like supernatural experiences. The amount of time you have on your hands when you're not eating or cooking food or going to pick food up or whatever, like when food's just removed, you have so much more time you would not even believe it. So I try to use that time to get in the Bible, to spend time in prayer, to communicate with God. And man, He exposed so much about myself, and most of it was not necessarily favorable. Um, and but it was necessary to go through that. And the dreams, let me tell you about the dreams. They were so vivid and realistic, and like, and I already have very vivid dreams, for it to stick out to me that these were like so realistic is crazy. I was dreaming about people from the past trying to come back into my life, and like things from the past trying to come back into my life. And I genuinely believe that was a warning. And then I also there were things that were like prophetic. I don't know how else to explain it, um, about my life that I'm not going to talk about, but like those were also in dreams and very vivid. I had people from around the world reach out to me and tell me they were having like the same kinds of dreams, and we never talked about it at all. One of my friends he's from Zambia, and he reached out and he was like, I just had this dream that this was happening. And I was like, it's crazy that you say that. But crazy vivid dreams. The most like supernatural experience I had, which was crazy, was I had like a vision of someone that I went to school with. And I wrestled with the idea of not telling them about that. And the Holy Spirit was just beating me up. Like, you got to tell him. And I was like, all right. So I reached out to this guy that I went to high school with, and I'm like, I had this vision. I called it a dream because I didn't want to weird him out. I didn't know if he was a believer. I didn't know whatever. And I started telling him this stuff. And it was basically like, I kept telling him, I was like, I think Jesus is protecting you. I don't know why, because like the imagery in the dream didn't look super great from my perspective. But I explained what happened, and it was basically like, he was like, I have been trying to get my protector to like give me a sign, basically. I am baptized. I am saved. I do read the Bible. Like, I am a Christian. I was like, what? And it was just crazy to me, the way that guy's life and my life are intertwined makes no sense to me, because it's like every 5 years something happens to where so maybe we should hang out or something. I don't know. But other than that, I'm addicted to food. I'm addicted to social media. There's a lot of stuff that I could have fixed in my life and I didn't. And I didn't want to do the fast, so I don't want anyone to see any of the stuff that I post and think that, like, I think I'm, like, super holy or, like, what. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it the whole time. Don't believe me? Go watch the video where I talk about it every day. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this. Why would anyone want to do this? And then I made it to the other side of it, and I realized that even in the times where it didn't feel like God was with me, he was with me the whole time. There was one day where he answered 2 of my prayers within, like, 5 minutes. It was crazy. I've never had anything like that happen. So clearly he's the one that called me to do that, and I want Jesus Christ to get all the glory for all of it. Sorry for this long-winded rambling. I was just trying to capture everything that happened. But yeah, I got a lot of work to do on me still. So if you watch this and you think, oh, no, got a lot of work to do. Love you guys. Peace.